From Michigan. And yes, I have been in county government for 36 years, and I hope you don't hold it against me. I found it to be a really rewarding career, although I will tell you it's changed so much. You know, probably like all of your jobs have, you know, over the time. It's just changed so much, and it's so different now than it was before. In terms of this community, I really appreciate being in this community. I've been in some communities where, you know, it's just really like pulling teeth. Makes the job of government easier. This is a really highly educated and well-informed community, and as you all know, you don't have a problem letting us know that, and that's a good thing. And I'll be honest with you, you know, in my first 15 or 20 years in my career, I always felt like nobody ever talked to us in government. You know, just like you guys take care of that, you know, and you never really heard about things. And then when people started getting more involved and having more input into what was going on and more concern about how their tax dollars were being spent, I'll be honest, those first few years, I didn't really like it so much. You know, it was like, you know, we've been doing it this way all this time, and now all of a sudden, you know, people are telling us their opinions and wanting to be involved. But I'm going to tell you, after, especially after the last job where I was in Traverse City, Michigan for 11 years, what I really found was that it's actually so much better when people voice their concerns and are part of the decisions rather than government making the decisions and then having to deal with the consequences afterwards. I'll just call it county organization culture. You know, we've, in the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, we've cut 17 positions out of the county budget. We've consolidated several positions. We've consolidated a couple of departments. This was all before I got here. What I'm still finding is departments are not communicating as well as they should with each other. You know, they're still kind of their own little towers doing their own thing. And we need to improve the relationship between departments, getting them to talk more and helping each other, realizing that about half of the departments, they're what we call service departments. You know, they're out in the community, the public works department. One of my goals is to improve that relationship, get those internal departments to realize that they're there to service the external departments, so those external departments can do the best job they can in servicing the constituents. The county board has been really adamant about the fact that when we do this next budget, we do a 2-year budget. We're the only county in the state to do a 2-year budget. When we do this budget that we're starting now, that has to be done by the end of June, the board has said we're going to live off the revenues that we generate in each biennial budget. So no borrowing, no using savings. We're going to learn to live off of our revenues. And I'm really confident that we're going to be able to do that. And it may mean we're going to have to eliminate some of the things we do. It may mean that we're going to have to shrink some of the things we do. But I'm confident that we're going to put a budget together for the board that they'll be happy with. The road, better health care services, and the jail, housing out inmates. I'll talk about jail in a minute here. So we're going to work on putting together this budget in a way that it lives off the revenues, and we're not borrowing, we're not looking to our future to try to, we're not putting costs on the future and our future generations, but rather we're living within our means like we all do in our own homes. And that's going to be one of my primary jobs. I'd like to hear about facilities, but we've got a couple issues that we have to deal with. Eventually, the first one I'll talk about is the health department. And if any of you have been there, first of all, we have, I think, 4 health clinics in this county that are servicing really large populations. And it's just growing and growing, and we're kind of busting at the seams, especially at our health building in town here on 27th. That building has been there for a long time, and it just doesn't meet the needs. I mean, we've got people in closets that are working in closets because there's no room to put anybody.